Well, here we are, Grace.
Here we are at Mt Rushmore
Mount
National
Rushmore?
Memorial.
Yeah?
My bucket list.
Yeah.
It's on my bucket list.
Gonna head up that road and stop at the memorial. Look up there, Grace.
I saw it.
You did?
Yes,
You see it
right over there. Yes, I did. I did too.
There?
It's right to the left.
Yeah.
Look to the
Okay.
left.
Oh!
Yeah, I can see it.
There. Wow.
See it? See it coming up?
Wow!
Oh.
Now we know where we are now.
Oh.
We never really appreciated it.
Oh, no.
See a lot. Look at it. Here we go on into Mount Rushmore. Heading up to the administration, there's a flag from each state, and they're going up here alphabetical order. And there's the Iowa flag right there. Look, Joe. Big one too. That's a nice view for that. Through the flags and through the trees. I'm going to try and block the wind so you can still hear me. But we're kind of at the base of Mount Rushmore. We're going to go down and watch a movie about how they made it.
It was, critics said, a preposterous idea. An outrage against South Dakota's Black Hills.
Once Morgan was convinced of his artistic direction, he would measure the mark and transfer the dimensions to the mountain, using an ancient standard, as well as the position and length of the plumb line were all recorded. On top of the memorial, the measurements were multiplied times 12 and into.
There was the base camp, then they would go up by trolley cars and go up to the top to work on it. That's before, during, after. There's the chair that they used to sit in, go down the side to work on it. There's a winch. They used to be able to measure the exact amount of dynamite they needed. 90% of this thing was built with dynamite. Look right here. There's the cherry sitting in right there.
An inch long, and they would take that round dynamite and wrap it and put a electric cap in it, and then tie it rigid like it should be. You had a tendency to lean forward, and if you didn't watch it, pretty soon they'd have you right on your face, just dragging you right up there.
Have you ever been someplace you look down?
But something broke, and that turned us loose.
All the time we was coming down there, and I'd thought of it before. If anything ever happened and that thing broke loose and we come back down there, I was gonna, the compressor house was right below where we landed with that. And I figured I'd jump out of that thing and hit that roof.
most of those fellows that worked up there did. You know, sometimes you'd get 3 or 4 months and the work wasn't all that plentiful. And you had to scrounge around and try to make it through till they started up again in the spring. And I tell you, it was a hardship on a lot of them because there was no other jobs. Of course, that wasn't the fault of the mountain, but for a long time, you know, sometimes we only got 3 months, then maybe 4 or 5. If we could get 6, that wasn't too bad.
Okay, this is a replica of the Hall of Records, which is actually behind the faces on the mountain.
Morgan's plan for the Hall of Records included a large room 80 by 100 feet to be drilled into the north wall of the small canyon behind the faces. It also included an 800-foot granite stairway leading to the entrance. The Hall of Records construction was started. Important historical documents were to be placed in the Hall of Records, including a history of the United States, busts of famous people, and a list of the U.S. contributions to the world. On August 9, 1998, Borgham's dream was completed in part when a repository consisting of 16 porcelain enamel panels depicting the history of the country and how and why Mount Rushmore was built.
So we camped nearby, and I don't know, are any of you guys camping out too right now? Yeah? And everybody has their job, right? We did camp up. That's how ours was too, you know. Dad set up the tent. My job, I had to get dinner. And he told Don Robinson that his dream was a gun. Those fires just were there. The men who used to be mostly miners to come here, and they would drill holes in the mountain. Now they would drill them parallel to the face of the mountain. Let me put this down. It's kind of heavy. I have to put down. Everything's real here. This isn't. Yeah, it's not real dynamite. Stick of dynamite, and they had powder men, very skilled in the use of drillers. The men who were working very close to the faces, a little more skilled people. What they would do is they would actually drill holes straight into the rock. They would have a mark on the rock to say go 3 inches, go 2 inches, go 4 inches, however far you want to go. They drill the holes line after line after line. And once they did that, they'd take their chisel and they'd hit it and knock it off. Now sometimes not quite that easy. Sometimes they had to work a little harder than that. They called it a bumper tool. And it has a kind of a pointed end on it, kind of like that. And this little thing's going to go in and out, and it's going to go around. And it's going to basically pulverize all the stone up there. Well, underneath that stick, there's a round piece, just like this one right here. And what you can do is you take that piece up there, and you can move back and forth. So they put this in right on top of Nicholas's head here. It's actually permanently there. There's one just like it up on the mountain. They would rotate it over to maybe, what we're going to do his nose today, okay? They would roll it over so it was right where his nose was, and they'd measure the angle, 136, okay? 136 degrees. Then they would move the marker up like this, and they'd measure how far from the center out to the point where this goes down, and then they'd
This is from the original viewing terrace, and I don't know how windy it is for you folks, but this is a view from the original terrace. And this is where you'll find your Mount Rushmore gift. Boy, if they don't have it, they probably don't make it. This very large area, t-shirts, hats, keychains, memorabilia. Okay, so not only do they have a large gift shop, but they also have a very large cafeteria. And I'm going to try not to get any people's faces in here, but you can see it's pretty well packed. And it's a very large area. And this is the world famous Rushmore ice cream. Again, it's just a little too chilly. You can tell people how they're dressed. Now tonight, we're going to come down and sit down here in the amphitheater, and they'll do a lighting. We'll come down here about 9 o'clock tonight, and they'll do a lighting at night. It's really nice to see. We'll see how that shows up.